Tēnā koutou, ko Lily Fraser aho, no Kaitahu, no Puketeraki no Otakou ki te Waipounamu. He tākuta ahau e mahi ana ki Tūruki Healthcare, kei roto tonu i a Māngere ki te tautonga o Tāmaki Makaurau. Tēnā koutou katoa. So one of the big pātai that people are asking is, what is the harm in waiting? I want to just wait a bit longer and see how it pans out. This is a new vaccine. And I think that, ultimately we want people to feel comfortable about when they get the vaccine. We don't want people to feel pressured to get it. I'm just feeling worried right now around the new experience we've had with Delta. That we are having more trouble getting a ring around Delta at the moment in Tāmaki Makaurau. And I'm not 100% confident that we're going to actually get to a point where we don't have COVID in Aotearoa again. And so that's my worry about waiting, is that basically the sooner you get the vaccination, the sooner you've got that extra layer of protection that the vaccination offers. In terms of the trial, this was something, every other vaccine we've ever given, I never look at the trial data, but there was so much wanga about this trial, this vaccine, how quickly it's come around, that I've spent a lot of the time at the beginning really having a look. And the reason it's been so fast, and you all have heard this kōrero before, is that obviously this is a worldwide pandemic. And so everyone in the world who had some money put the money in to be able to do this mahi. And that's how it got off the ground so quickly. This technology that we've used for developing the vaccine for Pfizer, its mRNA vaccine, isn't new. It's been developed over the last couple of decades. But there hadn't been the same investment in pūtea to get it going. So once there was this big emergency, the money came in and the mahi got done. In terms of the length of the trial, they achieved it in such a fast time due to overlapping the steps. So steps weren't missed, but the steps were done on top of each other, overlapping so that it could be compressed into a shorter time frame. In terms of, some people say I'm worried about the long-term effects of the vaccine, because obviously we've only had this vaccine in the world for about a year. And we have had a lot of experience with vaccinations over decades. And the pattern that we see with vaccinations is that the effects that you are going to get, so side effects, the majority happen in that first 72 hours. And so we have really good information about that first 72 hours. The other things that might happen, so we've heard of rare cases of things like myocarditis. Those happen really early on in the first few weeks. So I'm not worried about what's going to happen down the track, because actually the effect of the vaccine's already komatuke. Yeah, so I've also had lots of whānau talk to me about being worried about getting the vaccine because they have pre-existing medical conditions. So they may have heart problems, diabetes, asthma, and they're worried about how the vaccine might affect their current health. What I'm more worried about is how their health is going to be if they get COVID. And definitely the outcomes for whānau who have those types of long-term conditions are worse. We see it's worse with age, and we see that it'll be worse when you have long-term conditions. And so the impact of the vaccine on those conditions usually is nothing. So it shouldn't have any effect on your asthma or your heart condition. The only reason that you can't have the vaccine is if you've had a serious, previous serious allergy to that vaccine. Everybody else is allowed to have it. And so if you are worried about any of your health problems, the best person to talk to is your own job doctor or practice nurse around specifically what it is that you're worried about. I think it's important that we remember that you could get COVID, but it's way less chance of you actually getting COVID compared to if you weren't vaccinated. So the majority of people that are vaccinated won't get COVID at all, even if they're exposed to it. If you do get COVID, then the risk of getting a severe illness is much lower. And the chance of you passing it on is also much lower. So you could, but it's way lower compared to if you're not vaccinated. So when the Pfizer vaccine was made, it was made against the Alpha variant of COVID. And so one of the things people wonder is, does it work against the Delta? So with the Alpha one, we were seeing about 95% protection. So that means that if you got exposed to COVID, there was a 95% chance you wouldn't get it. So only a 5% chance you would. With the Delta, we're seeing that it's probably about 85% protection. So if you get exposed to Delta, it's about an 85% chance you won't get it. Of that 15% that do get it, it's a much less serious disease, much less chance of passing it on, and way lower chance of going to hospital or dying from it. Nothing's 100%, but it's definitely a massive protection.